Hello everyone, this is Michael Anfield and thank you for joining me on creating a beautiful world because that's what we want to create, a beautiful world. Today I'm going to be talking about why people feel so lost, why they feel depressed, what is happening, what is going on, and how they can change their lives for the better, what they can do to get out of their depression or their trying to find themselves, trying to see what they want to do in life. Okay. So, people, what usually happens with youngsters after they finish high school, usually what will happen is that they will either go to college right away or university, or they will take some time off to decide really what they want to do. And some of them, what will they do is they will try to find themselves or try to do this maybe through traveling or through I don't know, some kind of work trade or apprenticeship or something. You know, they will go somewhere, they will work for a bit on a farm or something, in a roofing or something, and yeah, so yeah. But in some people, they will be so lost that they don't really know what they want in life, and they choose a job or career that really they're not really into, and they feel really lost in their lives, and they really don't know what to do, and they feel so depressed. Many of them are so clinically depressed that they eventually commit suicide, and it's not really known, but there's a lot of teenage men and women that are doing this, are committing suicide, and really so severely depressed, many of them. And it's sad to see many of them like that, and it's because one thing, what I noticed with myself in life is that I was so depressed and almost chronically depressed or clinically depressed because of one thing. I was disconnected from nature. And I don't mean, okay, you go to nature, you spend some time in a park for 1 or more hours each day, or a few hours a week, or a few hours a month. Not like that, or not. It's not just going to the wilderness for one weekend in the summertime or a few weekends in the summertime and that's it. No, it's about actually immersing ourselves in nature. And people will say, well, that's boring, I need my amenities of society. I need my amenities of, all the theaters and cinemas and malls and discotheques and all these places. I need them, my restaurants, and I need my shopping malls and my all these places. I need them. And it's like we need them because we feel so disconnected from the true source of happiness and love and connection, which is nature. We've lost that source, that inner source of light, which is nature. That's why we've lost the wisdom. And wisdom is nature, wise. All wise, because she knows all about life. She is life. Without the trees, without all the life of forests, there is no life. So that's why we're so lost and disconnected, because we're disconnected from the source of life, which is nature. And some people might say the source of life is prana. Yeah, but where's prana coming from? Prana is coming from mostly the forests of the earth. Of course, also from the oceans and the rivers and the lakes and all these other places where a lot of phytoplankton and a lot of algae and a lot of other creatures and plants live. And these are probably the two biggest sources of prana, of life force, is the waterways or the sources of water on earth and forests around the world. Yep, forest. These are the source of where we get our air, our oxygen, our everything that goes into us. That's where we get it from. We don't get it from the cement or concrete buildings. We don't get it from the asphalt roads. We don't get it from the garbage cans. We don't get it from governments or from malls or from cinemas. In fact, when we go into a cinema or we go into a mall, we're getting stale artificial air from who knows what is circulating in those cinemas and those malls. All sorts of artificial air conditioners, artificial chemicals in the air, some kind of chemical purifiers. Who knows what's really in the air? And then so many people in there breathing in and breathing out, and who knows, farting and having perfume, and their clothes are full of harmful detergents and all this kind of stuff. That, hey, we're taking in all of that toxins, all of those toxins, and we're not breathing in through prana from nature. And this is why a lot of people are so disconnected. And we can't believe, nobody can believe, even adults can't believe that there's another way to live. And that there is a real way to live, a better way to live. Because we're so used to this artificial construct that over time humans have created. The towns and cities are completely artificial. When there is some life in the town or the city, it's a small patch of grass or maybe one little tree. In urban areas, you hardly find any trees. If you find a tree, the tree is stuck right in a square or a hole in the concrete, trying to escape in prison, basically. And even then, often there's no trees often. And in suburban areas, yes, you'll find more trees and more parks and more places like this with greenery. But often, it's not like a real forest. So, when you go to the rural areas, very far in nature, 20, 30, 40, 60, 80, 100 kilometers away from civilization, yeah, you get pristinity, and you find sometimes even amazing mountains and rivers and lakes, sometimes oceans, beautiful, pristine places, and usually you can drink the water straight from there. A lot of springs and a lot of amazing places, amazing beauty. And so people are so lost and they want to find themselves, but really really we need to reconnect to nature. And that is what our new book that we'll be publishing soon, The Way We Heal, Reconnecting to the Power of Nature, is all about. It's really about connecting to nature. Now, another thing I like to mention is that human beings are tropical beings. If it's anthropologists, or if it is our intuition, or if it's in our blood, or yeah, I mean we cannot go out in a winter's day when it's snowing outside naked, because really that is not where we belong. Now we have to put on our bodies artificial things like clothes. Clothes are not a natural thing to be wearing. No, no, no. In fact, we as human beings, we came into this world naked, and we're meant to be naked all our lives. But unfortunately, in this society we were brought up in, and the culture we're brought up in, it's not like that. No, we are covered up the first moment of birth. Well, probably because when we're born in hospitals, we're born in artificial environments, with all the lights and all the who knows what chemicals in the air and air conditioning and so forth, we're cold because we're coming out of a warm, very, very warm womb, our mother's womb. And when we come out, right away we are clipped. Our umbilical cords are cut. We are cut off from the vital energy and the vital air that we need to breathe, and the nutrients that we need, because that's what we think we're supposed to do. We're supposed to cut off that, but that's not the way we're supposed to be doing it. It's all wrong. We have it all wrong. The medical system, the pharmaceutical industry have it all wrong. They're complete violent, and we don't need to be in those situations. Yes, we need to be in nature. We need to be growing our own food and eating wholesome food and being with prana and being with other loving human beings, and surrounded by all the amazing free roaming animals and amazing native plants and fruiting trees. This is what it means to live in the pristinity of nature. Truly, we are so disconnected from nature that we don't even realize this, and we feel that nature is boring, nature is violent. The jungle is so horribly violent, we don't want to go there because we fear that we're going to get bitten by someone or eaten alive by someone or get a deadly disease. We fear, I need my internet, I need my TV, I need my electricity, I need my cinemas, I need my malls, I need my toys, I need my electronics. I cannot live out there. And if people do, it's for a weekend or for a week maximum, and that's it. They cannot do it more than that. This is the reality, and people feel this way because they're so disconnected from Mother Earth, from the connection we have to the greenery of life. And being in cold places, going to nature is not the answer either. Especially during the cold season months where it's freezing and we need jackets and we need pants and we need snow pants and we need extra jackets and we need 3 or 4 pants, and it gets so cold with blizzards and people are so disconnected. That's all it is. It's very, very disconnected. And once we reconnect to the power of nature, we start to realize that nature is all, well, not all that we need, but nature is one of the main things that we need. One of the main factors that we need in order to reconnect to the power of nature. That is why the subtitle of the book is Reconnecting to the Power of Nature, because that's what we need to do, reconnect to our mother's wisdom, our mother's beauty, our mother's love. The love that she has for us is tremendous. She continues to love us even when we disregard her and say, you know, I'm going to take this carrot and I'm going to take this, I don't know, I'm going to take this potato and I'm going to take this rice and I'm going to take this pumpkin and I'm going to boil the hell out of them. I'm going to put them on a fire or put them on a stove and I'm going to heat so high because I don't like nature, and I'm saying, nature, you don't know what you're doing. Heating it is better. So now we ultimately say to nature, hey, I need to manipulate the food so I can eat it. Your food, the way you grew it, the raw food, no good. No good. Ew, eating a raw carrot. Ew, eating a papaya. Ew, eating a banana. No. We need to eat the packaged stuff. We need to heat it as high as possible. Put it in the oven. Fry it with a lot of oil and put salt on it. Crazy amounts of salt. And condiments and spices and herbs. Because we're so disconnected. This is the whole thing. We need to reconnect to the power of nature. But how are we going to do that if we're so disconnected? So this is the time that you're going to learn just how to do that. Of course, it's going to take time, and of course every human is going to be slightly a little different on how they approach this and how they heal themselves and all those kind of things. First thing we need to realize is that we need to go into nature, live and immerse ourselves in nature, in the tropical parts of the world, in warm climates, not in high mountains in the tropics where it's still so freezing cold that you need to wear jackets and pants. But in warmer climates in the tropics, like the Amazon where we are, places like that where most of the time we're naked. And we're loving it here. Of course, 10 years or 20 years or 30 years ago, maybe we wouldn't resonate with this. Maybe we would say, hey, I need my moles. Hey, I need my this. Hey, I need that. Hey, I need my CD player. Hey, I need my movies. Hey, I need my television. Hey, I need my this and that. But now we realize, because now we're reconnecting to the power of nature. Of course, we're not completely healed, and yes, we still have a lot of wounds that we need to, a lot of wounds and a lot of hurt that we need to heal, and a lot of things we need to address in our lives, and struggles and challenges. But yeah, we're slowly doing this through reconnecting to the power of nature. But this is not the only thing that we are doing, because health, if we want to improve our health, this is not just about improving our physical health. It's about improving ourselves holistically, improving our health holistically. This is what it's all about, improving our health holistically. So, immersing ourselves, living in nature, is just the one thing that we can do to heal. One thing that we can do to heal. But once we start this one thing, we start to realize, hey, then we start to connect the other dots, and we start to connect many other things in our lives, and we start to heal more and more. And then we start to say, hey, now I know what else I need to do in order to heal. I need to heal in other ways, and I know now slowly what I must do. I must heal my mental and my emotional states, my spiritual aspects of my life I gotta also work on. And this means doing things like walking barefoot, grounding with the earth, being in the sun as much as we can, just going to the sun and getting as much sun as possible. That's also the key. Of course, without any sort of chemicals on our skin. So we forego all those chemicals that we've put on our skin in the past, from makeup to lotions and creams to all sorts of things, perfumes and laundry detergents and hair straighteners and gels for the hair, and just a whole load of crap that we have used in the past, supplements and pharmaceuticals and all kinds of stuff that really is not in our body's best interest. And so when we get out there and we enjoy the sun without all that crap on our skin and in our bodies, we start to rejuvenate, walking barefoot, doing all the inner work through meditation. We start to eventually heal the emotional part, the mental part, the physical part, and so forth. So these are the keys, really, to slowly getting out of the artificial matrix into the real one in nature. This is the incredibleness of it all. So these are the keys, again, to unlock the doors so we can have a better life. We can start to reconnect to the spirit. We are magnificent beings. Magnificent, sovereign human beings. And we don't have to abide by any government or any government human laws. We don't have to abide by those artificial, man-made constructs called society, but the natural ones called natural laws. These are universal truths these are natural truths that have existed for eons of time, throughout existence. So, if we are to live with a lot of happiness, a lot of love, a lot of joy, we need to realize that we need to get out of the comfort, our comfort zone. We need to get out of what we've been doing for years and decades, living in artificial environments. We need to go and live in natural environments, in nature, in tropical areas. Why tropical areas? Because we are tropical beings. By nature, we are. If we were beings that really could live in colder environments, we would be able to live completely naked. But we can't. You go out on a winter's day somewhere in New York, or somewhere in Buffalo, or somewhere in Windsor, or somewhere in, I don't know, Edmonton. It's freezing. You cannot go out in a winter's day, even in a sunny day, naked, because it's too cold. You need clothes, and you need jackets, and you need pants, and you need probably boots, and you need all these kind of things to keep us warm. Yeah. And in fact, many people during those times, they even go to places where they have saunas and hot tubs because they're so cold that they need something warm, or they need to jump in a hot shower. That's how it is. And even in cooler places, maybe like Arkansas or somewhere, you're going to find that it's still cold. You cannot just go outside with nothing. It just doesn't work that way. And so the whole idea is that we are not cold climate beings, not temperate zone beings, not even beings that want to live in Mediterranean places, because these are also still very cold places. I had the opportunity at one point to build Peaceful Village in Arkansas at one point. I was checking Arkansas for the climate and what kind of food you can grow there and all this kind of stuff. And I was very disappointed. I was given some area of land. I'm not sure. I can't remember what size, but some area of land. But I noticed after doing some research that it was just damn too cold. Yes, it was much warmer than where I was living, but very, very cold. Then I had the opportunity at some point to be in Texas and to have a place in Texas. And then I did my research there, and I was talking to someone, and they said, I was in Texas, and still it's very cold at times. Yes, it may be much more warmer than in Arkansas or where I was living, but it's still damn cold. And then I had the opportunity to be in Costa Rica, and I said, this is lovely, this is where I want to be. Eventually I came here anyways to what is known as Ecuador. So we're in the Amazon, northern Amazon, in an undisclosed place, semi-private place. And anyways, it's a beautiful, pristine, glorious, gorgeous place. Very pristine and beautiful. And I think that's the reason why we're not we're not temperate zone or even cooler climate beings. We're not. Because we can't walk naked out there. And some people say, well, I don't want to walk naked. I want to put clothes on because I'm ashamed of my body. I'm ashamed of my body. Oh, yeah. Because I have low self-esteem. My fucking body is so awesome. Oh, baby, it's so awesome. It's beautiful. Even though many people might think I'm too skinny, I feel good. I feel beautiful. I feel fantastic. My body's beautiful, and I'm healing more and more and more and more. And also in tropical climates. And when I mean tropical, I also include subtropics, including in that. And I don't mean, again, places that are so high in elevation, 2,000 or 3,000 or 5,000 meters in elevation. I'm talking about, less than let's say less than maximum 1,800, maybe 1,600 meters in elevation maximum. When you have this kind of weather and elevation, you start to realize, hey, it's very warm in these places. It's beautiful, and you can grow your food all year round. That is the key, is to grow our food all year round, so that we don't have to rely on governments or supermarkets or food banks or places like these during the colder months. Some people say, hey, but I can store my food throughout the months and all this kind of. We are meant to consume fruits. We are fruit beings. We're fruitarians or frugivores. And people say, well, I love my savory stuff. I love my vegetables. I love my this. I love my that. And it's like, that's because we're all trained and programmed. But ultimately our cells and our tissues thrive on sugar. On sugar, natural sugar found in plants, found primarily in fruits. And people say, well, when you cook starches, they become sugary, and then we can eat them. And nature doesn't do that. It doesn't manipulate food. We wanna say to nature, hey, your food just the way it is, your banana just the way it is, or the apple, or the carrot, or the cherimoya, or the soursop, or the durian, or the black sapote. Hey, they're not good enough like that. We need to do something. We need to manipulate them on the fire. We've lost that connection to nature. And that is why we're making all these excuses, all these justifications. So we are disconnected from nature. We're disconnected from the true wisdom within nature. And that is why we need to reconnect to the power of nature. It's tough to understand this when we're so unconscious and we're living a life in towns and cities with all the amenities. People cannot imagine not living with all these amenities. We're so used to getting the water, municipal water, and getting the electricity, and getting the internet, and getting all these things from society, getting things from society, getting things from the towns and cities we all love. We're so used to going to malls and to cinemas and to big box stores and department stores and so many different places. We're so used to it, and we cannot fathom not going to these places. And also another thing we can't fathom is how we're going to live. how are we going to live? Well, we need to do all of this kind of thing. We need this. We need the driver's license. We need our cars. We need, all these things. We need it. We need to pay our taxes. We need to do this. We need to do that. We need to pay our mortgage. We need to pay our phone bills. We need to pay this. We need to pay that. We need to leave all of that. We need to understand that that is all part of the system of slavery. Yeah, society and governments are slavery. And we need to live and to think. First, we need to think a different way. We need to start questioning all of what society is. And we need to start walking away slowly from society and to forego our old ways of being. No longer works. We are overworked and overstressed. And we are nothing that we're doing in society, the reformation through politics and voting and protesting and demonstrations and all these things really don't work. And if they do, it's just a slight bit, but it's not really transforming us for the better and evolving us for the better as human beings. It's not working. It's just not working. Because we are so disconnected from nature. This is the key, is that we are disconnected from nature. Once we reconnect to nature, we're going to start to understand the rest of it, the whole rest of it, But there's another factor that we must also consider, not just reconnecting to nature, but another factor, and that is to understand our connection also to the non-human animals of this earth, and to realize that they also exist for their own reasons, not for our existence. We need to respect and love them, and when we respect and to love them, to not do anything that harms them in any way. And we respect them, we love them, and we have compassion for all the beings of this earth. We don't harm them in any way. We don't use them in any way. We don't see them as products, as property, as things. And we don't use, or we don't steal, or we don't take anything that comes from them. So no dead bodies of animals, no dairy products, no eggs, honey, no clothing made from animals, no any animal entertainment products that contain animal ingredients. So these things. We respect and love all the beings of this earth, just as we love and respect ourselves, or at least we should. And that's another thing too, is that many people don't even love themselves, because society has taught us that not to show our feelings and to have very low self-esteem of ourselves. And there's a lot of self-hate, and there's a lot of these kind of things in society, and this also leads to depression and loneliness and just suppressing things, whatever we feel. Let's not share or show our emotions, our feelings. Let's just continue suppressing everything, and that's it. This is one of the many of the terrible wounds that we're facing as humans, and we need to get out of that by reconnecting to the power of nature and reconnecting to non-human animals, so that we don't use them in any way. We don't harm them. We don't see them as just things to be used. No matter what, if we do it ourselves or we get someone else to do it, it doesn't matter. So this is the ideas that we present in our book, The Way We Heal, Reconnecting to the Power of Nature. So this is the ideas, really why we are so disconnected, why we are so depressed, why we have so many of the problems we do. Because society no longer works. When we go out to a pristine nature, there are no problems in those pristine nature settings. It's pure, it's pristine, it's beautiful, it's magnificent, it's you just are, just be, it's incredible. Of course, some people might think the opposite because they're so programmed to love and to, we're so used to and we're so programmed to being in towns and cities with all the amenities, all the distractions. And that's also another thing. We're distracted from truly reconnecting to nature, to connecting with nature. And now we need to reconnect with nature. Sad. It's very sad. Very sad that where we have become as a human species on Earth. We need to do a lot of the meditation, a lot of the inner work to start understanding a lot of these issues that I'm talking about here. This is the keys to unlocking the doors to abundance and to love and to joy and to happiness and to bliss and to reconnecting and to our living in harmony with all life. These are all the things to understand and to live by. What I'm saying here is not la la land, is not go in, this is not reality. You're not in reality. Check. You need to get a job. You need to do this. You need to do that. You need to pay your taxes. You need to do this. You need to do that. I've heard all of this before. I've heard all of these excuses before. Why someone must continue staying and supporting society, living in towns and cities. It doesn't work any longer. Never has, never will. It's violent. It's slavery. Living in towns and cities, slavery. We need to get out. We need to live in rural areas. We need to live in nature, in the tropical areas of the world. This is the only way, in warm climates in the tropical regions of the world where we can grow all our own food all year round. This kind of thing. The fantasy is what the normal, so-called normal people are doing in society. That's the fantasy. That's the unconscious living. We want to be conscious, not unconscious. We want to evolve, not dissolve. We want to be happy, not unhappy. We want to be in bliss. We want to be with so much ecstasy because we are immersed in this beauty that we call nature. What an incredible life I live. I was so depressed in my life before. I was so depressed. Even as a vegan, I was very depressed. And I thought it was just because I was lacking money. Just because I didn't have a lot of money. And sometimes I didn't have any money or very, very little. And I couldn't afford to buy things in the supermarket. I just bought basically the cheapest things I could find, the bananas and other things that I could find that were cheap. I just bought the cheap stuff. I bought whatever I could. I made, banana smoothies often. I did whatever I could. I got the staples, the rice, the potatoes, all this kind of stuff. I did whatever I could to make it ends meet. But yeah, I understood that I was very, very depressed, chronically depressed, because it wasn't because of I lacked money. It wasn't because I didn't have a big house. It wasn't because I didn't have a fancy car. It wasn't because of this or that pertaining to society. It was because I was disconnected from nature. I was disconnected from nature. That's it. I was disconnected from nature. I was disconnected from nature. And I don't mean going into nature half an hour or 1 hour. Because from time to time I did that. I went to nature, sometimes even for a few days for a few hours. Every so often, or even for a few days even. But that wasn't the answer. And in fact, yes, I did go to nature. And I stayed in nature for many months at one point. But I didn't realize that I was still I was definitely much less depressed, much less worried and frustrated and in anxiety and so forth. But truly, I was not healed. And of course, still now I'm not completely healed, but much, much more healed than I was, yes. But why, and what happened was, I moved to the tropics, and my life drastically changed. But still, because I didn't live more or less permanently in nature, in a warm place, I still was in the city, and I was still in a kind of suburban area. And yes, I was getting in a lot of radiation, and I had Wi-Fi many times there, mostly Wi-Fi connection. And I still somehow was disconnected, and I was very depressed, still pretty depressed. And that was because of one thing. I did not connect to nature. Completely immerse myself in nature, in the tropics. So even if someone goes to the tropics and they live in a town or in a city, that's not the solution. The solution is to go into nature, to connect ourselves to nature. But how do we do that? How do we do that? We don't have an uncle or a family member that is living in the tropics with a finca. How do we do that? I don't have money, the hundreds of thousands of dollars to get a land. What do I do? I don't know any intentional community that can take me on that is vegan. I don't know. Well, that's something that we need to figure out how we're going to do that. And sometimes we don't really even need to know that. Sometimes the universe will guide us along and tell us, hey, this is the way you must do it, or just show us the light, and then we will go there. It took me 8 years before I first started to envision or to create the concept of peaceful village. And at the time, I basically just called it Peaceful Village, and it was a vegan community, intentional community, and that was all basically it was. And then over time, it changed. It changed over the many years, over the 8 years it changed. And then at some point with my current partner, lovely partner Aurora, we decided, okay, it's going to be a healing community where people actually heal. This is the key of the community. It's about healing. Healing, of course, growing all of our own food too, but healing. So we called it Peaceful. It is still called Peaceful Village, shortened, but the full name is Peaceful Village Raw Vegan Healing Community. Of course, at some point, maybe it will be Eden Fruitarian Community or something like that, but it's a Raw Vegan Healing Community. And this is eventually what I created with my lovely partner. And yeah, it's beautiful here, and people won't realize it or won't know until they really start reconnecting to nature. And I'm not saying that someone from society is gonna come here, is gonna arrive, and they're gonna feel so blissful. Maybe they might feel a very good connection at first to the natural environment because it's so pure, so pristine. They'll love going to the rivers and drinking pure and fresh rainwater from our barrels. So these kind of things, and seeing all the amazing plants that we have growing and these kind of things, and also tasting the incredible fruits that are growing here and some in the local markets. But after that, they might think, oh, I need my internet now, and I need the electricity, and I need this and that. It's boring here. There's not many people. Then they get so restless because they are so used to the conditioning or the disconnection of nature. So they really want to go back to get their internet and to get their food that they're so used to, and to go to the cinemas and the malls and all these kind of things, the distractions and the loud music and all this kind of stuff, the distractions of society. And it distracts us from really who we are. We are a part of nature. We've lost that connection to nature. And most people cannot just arrive in a place like this and start suddenly healing and saying, oh, I belong here. I really connect here. Especially those that are so conditioned, so hurt, badly wounded and hurt from society and from the programming of society and culture. So it does take time to do the healing, to do the inner work, to really feel the connection with nature. This is all discussed in our book, The Way We Heal, Reconnecting to the Power of Nature. It's in the works right now, so we are doing revisions of the book, and we are in the midst of soon publishing. Hopefully by this year it'll be finished and published. Let's hope, because it's taking more time than I expected it. So yeah, stay tuned for this book, because this what I'm talking to you about today is what the book, The Way We Heal, goes into. It's a very lengthy book already. There's almost 60,000 words, so it's over 200, almost 250 pages. So it's a pretty lengthy book, pretty lengthy book compared to even my other books that I've written. So it's something that really connects all the dots together of what's happening really on this in society and culture, and what we really need to do to get out of this disconnection. So Thanks for listening, everybody. It's been a long conversation or a long episode today. But this is Creating a Beautiful World. I'm Michael Anfield. This is Peaceful Village, Raw Vegan Healing Community. If you like these podcasts, please, please, please share them around with people. Share them around with whoever you feel that would benefit from these audio clips. And understand that yes, though these audios are lengthy, some of them, especially this one. Usually I don't go more than 20 or 30 minutes at most, but sometimes there's a need to go longer. And it's very vital to start to understand all of these things. And sometimes it's not easy it's not, you can't really understand these things in a few short minutes. Sometimes it needs time to explain thoroughly what is happening, why, all the ins and outs of what topics, especially depending on the topic, or what topics, and all the details about those topics. So with this one, it was very in-depth. And the book goes even more immersed, more in detail about what's really happening, how we can heal ourselves, all these kind of things. And if people want to go even further than that, they can join us in Peaceful Village Raw Vegan Healing Community to heal with us. Yeah. Of course, currently we don't have the full facilities because we just started our community just recently, and everything is going very slowly here. We're just enjoying. We're just putting all our energy into this. Most of our energy into this project, and things are just going pretty slowly, but everything's going very wonderfully here. So we don't have all the facilities yet, but if somebody really wants to come and support us and help us and heal with us, we can make that happen. Yes, we can make that happen. And of course, we're not going to, the donation minimum is going to be much less than it would once we have the facilities. So you would help us tremendously to create or to build those facilities with your donations. So that is the key here. So it's not about all the fancy facilities, because it's about really connecting with nature and start understanding a lot of these ideas, and to immerse yourself with us. Really, we have a lot of experience and a lot of knowledge and understanding, and we continue learning all about this and experiencing this beautiful place and understanding what we need to do in order to heal more. We're reading a lot, we're learning a lot, we're watching a lot of different videos and documentaries and all these kind of things. We have the time, we're doing all of this so that we know how to heal better, to help to heal better ourselves and others as well. And so that's really about it, everybody. Thank you for joining me here. I'm Michael Anfield, Creating a Beautiful World, Peaceful Village Raw Vegan Healing Community at peaceful-village.com. I love you very much. Have a wonderful day, night, morning, whatever you are in the world. I love you so much, sending you much love and hugs and kisses and prosperity and abundance and everything. Bye-bye for now. Take care, everyone.